and the Lions of Lyons Township. Dane, you were on the St. Lawrence St. Francis game yesterday. What'd you like that you saw from this Viking squad?
I saw Finn Walsh, who was probably one of the most offensive threats we've seen, the best offensive threats we've seen all tournament long. High-scoring game, decent defense from both sides. It was a competitive game, in and out throughout the entire ballgame.
And LT won their first game pretty handily over Sandburg. We watched Sandburg earlier lose to Conan. And that game, that Sandburg LT game was, like we said, kind of over before it started, right?
Right. I mean,
go ahead.
LT, again, you got to watch them. They have threats on the perimeter. They will shoot threes, and they will make you regret not guarding them.
Agreed, and these are two teams. LT, their staff plays very similar to York, the host of this tournament, and St. Lawrence loves to move the ball in transition. And we saw that with Darius Wilson. He captured our YSN play of the day with his highlight reel slam dunk yesterday. And we'll find out who takes the jump in a second. And it'll be John Wall for Lyons Township and Darius Wilson for St. Lawrence.
And this is now your third game broadcasting Lyons Township. So
this is my third game.
So you're pretty familiar with them, right?
They're becoming like York.
Right.
I've announced as many LT games as I have York. I'm pretty much a Lion myself as we get set to go. LT and St. Lawrence from the Holiday Tournament of the Jack Tosh. We start with Michael Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer to Engels. Engels outside. Heath on the way. Rims in and got it to go. It's Josh Heath on the basket.
And now get ready to watch the combo from number 1 and number 2, Finn Walsh and Darius Wilson. They're threats.
Finn Walsh, left-hand drive, up no good. But a foul called. I believe that'll be on John Wall, number 44. That's his first. And that's how we will get things started in terms of fouls. And Finn Walsh at the line shooting 2.
Did Finn Walsh get new shoes?
I think Finn Walsh got new shoes since yesterday. So he misses the front end. Now, you know what's surprising is that Finn Walsh was knocking down threes from no man's land, but even yesterday he struggled a little bit with the free throws.
He did, especially in that second half. You know, he was quiet in the second half. He shoots the second, misses. He was quiet in the second half, you know, and he allowed other players from the St. Lawrence team to do their job, especially in overtime too.
And over there will be a travel call on Engels. And that's the thing. We said that was the best game that we've seen so far between St. Francis and St. Lawrence. That one going to overtime. But just a couple great players on the St. Lawrence team, and it will be interesting to see how the game plan of LT matches up with them. That's Wilson, a 3, no good. Chasing down his own rebound, knocking off the head of Engels up to Heath. And to get a little assist from Heath, knocking off his head and opening things up. 5-0 the score. LT out in front. So Dane, here in the very early going of this young ball game, what do you like?
Well, early off, I like the offensive sense of urgency coming from LT, and something that's a little it's getting a little creepy, not creepy, but it's creeping on it. Is St. Lawrence already called a timeout? So they're worried. They're scared. They're scared of this LT, and they did not expect LT to come out here with this sense of urgency. I think the coach Jim Sexton came out here and he had to pump his guys up. And
I think, you know, this is a St. Lawrence team where we saw yesterday. Is that 3 off the mark? Rebounded by Engels. This is a team that when they were uncomfortable and put into uncomfortable situations, they kind of panicked, and that's something in this tournament that you cannot do. Because offense is something that is extremely valuable in a tournament like this. Running the offense, allowing guys to control their energy. Trey Davis had quite the ball game yesterday as well, as he goes left-hand floater up and in. 5-2 the score.
And of course, the 1-2-3, Finn Walsh, Darius Wilson, and Trey Davis. They will make the defense pay.
And Josh Heath had a solid game the other day for LT. So did Steph Vasic. We expect to see him checking into the ball game relatively soon. Good look inside of Angles, gives to Wall. Wall goes up. He'll be head to the line, shooting 2. That foul on Wilson.
And I think going into this one, St. Lawrence realizes they have a stronger opponent than just St. I'm getting confused all the St. names. Did they play yesterday?
St. Lawrence?
St. Lawrence.
Yeah, St. Lawrence played St. Francis.
Yeah, that's it. St. Francis. There's St. Ignatius, St. Francis, St. Lawrence. All right, St. Francis it was. They understand they're playing a stronger opponent, and that of which is the LT Lions.
And that one thrown out of bounds by Darius Wilson. And that's the thing that we see with a lot of teams in the Western Suburban Conference is a defense that slows things down. They control tempo, and teams like the Vikings and teams like St. Francis that come in here as Angles shoots the 3 and makes 3.
LT starting off hot like they usually do.
Good drive there from Walsh.
And you can hear the difference in the crowd here. LT's not that far from York. St. Lawrence, I don't even know where that is.
It's Burbank. South side is
Precisely.
Neo hits the 3.
Precisely. I have no idea where that is, Gavin.
What'd you say?
I said precisely. I have no idea where that is. I've been to a lot of places. I have no idea where Burbank is.
Finn Walsh drives. Good block there. I believe that was Michael Niedermeyer. And back the other way comes Nego and the Lions. Good little feed. Back out. Inside Nego floater is good.
And for LT being a conference rival to York, they're really putting on a show here. I mean, they're playing really well.
15 for the score. Far side, on the near side, Davis. Not a whole lot of confidence from deep here in the early going for St. Lawrence. Drive by Wilson, giving 3-pointer.
That was a good shot there.
Got there by Anthony Leonard.
It almost seemed like he forced that shot and managed to get it in.
I think he heard me. 15-7 the score, 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Drive here by Heath, going baseline and getting the basket to go.
And something to point out here from St. Lawrence, both St. Lawrence and St. Francis yesterday, we noticed and we pointed out, it was more of a small ball type game. And this St. Lawrence team, they don't have a big. So it leaves the inside wide open.
Agreed, and that foul there on Grant Nego. But a quick 10-point lead here for the Lions of LT. Very quickly, and Dane, that was one of the things that we haven't seen a whole lot of today. A lot of points, in the first quarter, but LT's come out here and shown their stuff pretty early.
They're showing a sense of urgency and taking advantage in the unprepared of St. Lawrence's defense.
What to Vasic.
What we've seen from these 3 games we've watched of Lions, they like to move the ball around, look for open shots, and they're not flashy at all. They just play normal basketball.
Niedermeyer hits that 3. And it's very similar to basketball that we see from York. It's a whole lot of passing and cutting.
Right, and that's why that game from York and the LT that we announced earlier in the year was so good.
was a great game. It was just a great battle. You know, like you said, it wasn't the flashy as the block there from Michael Shea. It wasn't the flashy, you know, look at me type of game. It was a battle of the brains. It's Vasek from the near side corner, no good. Rebounded by Finn Walsh, but straight to Shea. He'll go up and he'll go in.
You see the frustration.
You really can. And that play there will result in a full timeout called by St. Lawrence.
Wow. 22-7 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left.
You know, I think this one really starts to show just how dominant the Western Suburban Conference can be. And I mean, this is a St. Lawrence team that works really well in transition, but if you slow them down, they look uncomfortable. You can see how discombobulated they look. So it gets interesting.
I think something they're lacking in is interior defense. And what I mean by that is even though they're lacking in interior defense, it's allowing LT to be able to kick the ball out and score a 3, because what happens is when LT is able to force the ball inside, it draws the defense in to where you can kick the ball out and take the open 3.
Agreed, and that's something that works well and it works effectively. The important part of that offense is the kick out. If you got guys that can knock down shots,
right, great ball movement.
It works every time. Coming up next after this ball game, Jaden Johnson and the Batavia Bulldogs facing off against Max Christie and the Mustangs of Rolling Meadows. Zapped through by Trey Davis. No good. Ego in transition out to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer gives it to Engels, not a basic.
Great passing.
Great vision inside. That one no good. Up again. Engels got it to go. So Dane, as surreal as it might sound, LT just 3 points away from a 20-point lead is Wilson. That one no good.
And it almost seems like the panic button from St. Lawrence has been pressed early on in the first. They're trying to hit some threes and come back here when all it is. So there's another one. All it is good. All it takes is good defense.
Ego on the drive. Good right hand finish. Finn Walsh for 3.
That's a horrible shot.
Back the other way come the Lions. Kick out. Niedermeyer. Corner. 3. No good. Rebound tipped up to Shea. Got it to go. It goes 28-7. 21-point lead for the Lions of LT.
Is it bad I'm getting enjoyment out of the frustration from the other coach, from the St. Lawrence coach? Get in there.
That ball no good. But the blocking foul call, I believe, on Michael Shea will send Darius Wilson to the line. And he misses the front end of that one.
And you see the points from LT spread out all across the board, scored by almost all the starters on the team.
Now with that, Darius Wilson comes out of the ball game.
Along with Finn Walsh.
Yes, Wilson. Finn Walsh. Heath, good little look to Shea. That one no good. Rebound by Heath. He'll go up, be blocked by Davis. Now Vasek, he'll cut. He'll go up, no good. Rebounded by Anthony Leonard. Here come the Vikings. Kick out. Davis for 3. Got it.
And that's what we were used to seeing yesterday. A lot of threes from the St. Lawrence team.
All right, so Dane, we talked about the importance of fatigue and how it's not an option to let yourself get tired. St. Lawrence going to the full court press. Now, in that case, it was effective, but will that cause a team like this to be, tired out? 3 ball there is good. That one shot by number 5, Matt McGuire.
Are you talking about for score? Hold A lot just happened there.
It's 30-14, the score at the end of the first quarter. It feels like a score that you would see at the end of the first half.
Right.
In terms of the 30, maybe not the 14.
Yeah, maybe not the 14.
But I mean, what a showing so far from LT.
I think that the way they're moving this offense and the tempo and the number one thing is their ball movement that's allowing open shots has been the most important.
Yeah, and you know what? The transition defense from LT is something that's really hurting the Vikings.
Yeah, right. And although it's 30-14, it seems it's a lot more spread out as, you know, St. Lawrence got a couple points there at the end.
Yeah. You know what? If you're St. Lawrence, you're obviously not panicking just yet. Whole lot of ball game left, but not the way you want to come out and start this ball game. Because I mean, as I just said, anyone can score 30 points in a quarter.
Right. I think right now is the time where you need to be patient. You need to play your starters, and you need to wait for open looks. That's number one.
We'll start now with Jalen Hamilton on the near side, inside of Finn Walsh. They're giving it to Finn Walsh. Walsh looking nice little back cut, and being fouled is Aaron Wofford. So Wofford at the line shooting 2. Yeah, that's the thing. Free throws become more and more valuable as the game goes on, and everyone, because free throws at this age should be almost like free points. Wofford misses both. Ball taken by Walsh. Walsh, quick break. Davis nails it.
And there's Walsh and Davis showing off the athleticism, great ball movement from both of them, and of course the three-point ability from Davis.
Heath from the corner, got it.
It's from St. Lawrence on that last play. It's much like what we saw yesterday.
Walsh, good little take.
And that's the Walsh we're used to seeing.
They go back to that full court press. The Vikings do. Good take by Nigo. That's Grant Nigo on the finish. Up the court, poor pass there from Walsh. You can't give a team like Lyons too many turnovers because they'll make you pay.
Right, they
As
take
he looks
advantage
inside
of it.
of Wall, great finish. I mean, Dane, LT might hit 50 points by halftime.
And I think you're right.
St. Lawrence just looks very, very discombobulated.
And that was a word I was right about to use. Discombobulated.
Drive there from Wofford, floater rolls. It's just they just seem uncomfortable.
Right, I think they're completely thrown off from the speed, athleticism, off the bank. The speed, athleticism, and the great ball movement from LT.
They're playing strong defense too. And that's something that proves to be a problem for the Vikings.
Yeah, that was on 12.
Be a foul on Heath.
Oh, wow. It almost looked like Wofford kind of gave him a little shove from my point of view.
Finn going up nothing. This ball on the ground, picked up by Wofford. He'll be fouled.
There's a guy sleeping on the bleachers behind us.
There is literally a man sleeping on the bleachers behind us.
I mean, I don't know how you could sleep during this game. This is a pretty exciting game to me, don't you think?
I mean, the fact that, 39 points are already on the board and it's not even halftime. I might be asleep too. I mean, 39-22. Dan, I might literally fall asleep.
Is that sarcasm there?
No, I'm falling asleep. Back the other way come the Lions. 39-22. Little under 5.5. Basic hits the does not hit the 3. Takes the 3, didn't make it. But Nigo on the rebound. No good. Tipped up and out. This one will go to the Vikings.
You know what's different about this game than the one we just called?
What's that?
We just watched Schaumburg play, right? And the size from,
Highland Park.
No, Schaumburg.
Saxons. Chris Hodge.
Yes, thank you, Chris Hodges. There's no rebounding. I mean, most of these players are about the same size, but the rebounding ability in the second chances is just, it's a whole different type of game. It's way more fast-paced.
Nigo can't get that one to roll. A good take there. Up ahead to Wofford. Wofford, that'll be a charge. And great job there by Michael Niedermeyer drawing it.
I like games like this. I like the three-point shooting from a small guy like me, who likes to shoot a lot of threes myself, and Y-ball.
Y-ball is a beautiful thing.
Spurs last season, me and you.
Yeah, baby. Back the other way come the Vikings. Trey Davis, three-pointer off the mark, no good. Rebound to John Wall.
Played right here on this very court.
We did do that. Upset at some pretty good teams, too.
Oh, we did.
Take by Heath. Right-hand finish is good.
It's a great drive. Open floor. Looks for the opportunity, takes it.
But whenever it seems like St. Lawrence might have a little spark, LT shutting it down. And one basket there. Finn Walsh. That's the kind of play you need from a guy like Walsh. Coming into the game is Matt McGuire for the Vikings.
He's now got himself to 8 points, Finn Walsh, depending on the free throw.
They will knock down the first. Excuse me, the N one. This ball will go to St. Lawrence.
Still St. Lawrence here. A little sense of urgency, but need to stay patient.
Walsh on the three.
And that's a shot you can't really be taking.
And we will go back the way of St. Lawrence. So Josh Heath with 10 points, the leading scorer in this ball game. Walsh can't finish that one. It was a great take, though. That foul on Wofford will send Nigo to the line. So what's interesting here, Dave, is LT is in foul trouble.
And it is, because with 3 minutes left, you don't want to crack open the door to your lead, because if LT is able to keep at least a 10-point lead going into half, and they can keep up the tempo in the third quarter, they'll easily run away with it in the fourth. Because like we said, all day, there's no shot clock. There's the ability to run the clock out.
Nice. Great job selling the charge. There's Josh Heath on Wofford. It'll be his third. Here comes Basic and the Lions back the other way. Looking, Basic. Nothing going. Everyone falling down. Walsh. Good take there by Finn Walsh.
And that's his 11th. It's looked like a one-man show a little bit for Walsh here in the second quarter.
You know, Trey Davis was a factor there yesterday as well. Haven't seen a whole lot of him, especially from beyond the arc, and it doesn't help that Darius Wilson is in foul trouble, or was in foul trouble early. The foul there on Davis. We just have not seen a whole lot of Darius Wilson. Steady team showcase for both teams, and that's going to result in a charge. Finn Walsh drawing a foul. John Wall's second in the team's 8th. Coming into the ball game now for LT will be number 40, Evan Gardner. And coming out will be John Wall.
John Wall, that's a familiar name, isn't it?
It is.
The Washington Wizards.
That through ball on the way. No good. Going up for it. It's Jalen Hamilton that can't gather the board.
And the energy here from LT stays and continues to be strong.
Outside angles. Gives to Heath. A lot of traffic down low. Evan Gardner drawing a lot of attention. Anthony Leonard. Here we go. Winning that battle will be Leonard. Back comes Finn Walsh. Three-pointer on the way. Off the mark, no good. Heath to Niedermeyer in the corner. Troublesome spot. Keep seeing Gardner down there. Down low, trying to get in front of Leonard.
Movement.
Three, no good. Rebound to Heath. Heath to Basic. Basic three-pointer is on the way, and good.
A second chance opportunity from the movement and working around ball movement from LT.
Finn Walsh for three. No good. Short rebound by Gardner. Tom Sloan tells him to slow it down. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Nego set to check back in. That's Grant Nego. Good play. Inside, Gardner can't finish. Rebound by Hamilton. Walsh called on the travel.
That was a good defensive play from number 40, Evan Gardner, who ran down the court to make the stop and force Finn Walsh to travel. He didn't travel for nothing there.
Niedermeyer to throw the ball in. Giving it to Nego. Good hands there from Davis. Throws it down. Everyone's playing pass up to Gardner. Good feed. And that will be how we conclude the first half. The score of 48-29, a 19-point lead for the Lions of LT.
Man.
And St. Lawrence has a lot of work to do to get themselves back in the ballgame.
And that ball movement there at the end there from LT to just get the extra 2 points. Their sense of urgency and their energy has held up the entire game.
They're looking real good. We'll see you after the next 10 minutes for the second half. LT 48, St. Lawrence 29. and we welcome you back to the Jack Tosh tournament. This battle between the Vikings of St. Laurence and the Lions of LT. The score 48, LT 29 for St. Laurence. Relatively surprising. St. Laurence had a pretty solid showing against St. Francis yesterday. That game going overtime. But today they've come out and looked a little slow. And I think the score would agree. Dane, your takeaways from the first half?
I like the sense of urgency coming out of Lyons Township. Their ability to score has come from great ball movement and great shots. I mean, along with the great defense, because stopping Finn Walsh, Darius Wilson, and Trey Davis is not easy to do.
And the immediate turnover there from LT. St. Laurence can't capitalize. And then we go back to the Lions. Heath to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer, right dribble drive. No good. Stepping out of bounds is Trey Davis. And Darius Wilson, left-hand drive, up, got it, and a foul. And Dane, we hadn't seen a whole lot of him in the first half. And that's he played a key role in the victory for the Vikings yesterday. What your takeaways from St. Laurence? Really slow, really sloppy.
It almost seems like they came into this not well prepared for the great fast-paced moving offense from Lyons Township. Like we said, Lyons Township plays very similar to York. Sense of urgency, ball movement, smart shots.
As Nego with the basket there, and Wilson
Call foul.
back the other way with the answer.
Wilson with a little contact there.
And if the Vikings are going to make their way back into this one, they need solid defense. Good hands there from Trey Davis. Back the other way comes Finn Walsh. Walsh looking. Walsh left hand layup. Good.
He has shown off some speed and athleticism in transition. He's shown he's able to work the ball down the court. Always finishing with a layup.
A reminder, coming up after us will be Batavia and Rolling Meadows. Jaden Johnson, Devin Cheney, and the Bulldogs will take on Max Christie and Cam Christie and the Mustangs in a matchup that you're not going to want to miss. That one will be an exciting one. Dane, you and I were on call for last night's Rolling Meadows game, and a lot of faces in the crowd, especially with the logos and emblems of big-time colleges. As Wilson airballs that three. Niedermeyer and the Lions back the other way. Good look inside. Nego got that one.
You know, Nico's been phenomenal tonight. That's his 15th point of the game, combining with Josh Heath, who has 12 himself. That's not a name we've heard much this season.
Nego. Oh, left-hand finish, couldn't get it. Rebound to Finn Walsh. And you know what, I don't know about St. Lawrence here looking like they want to settle with the three, but if they can do it, they can do it.
I mean, St. Lawrence and St. Lawrence, this particularly second and third quarter, they've been shooting a lot of three-pointers because working inside, besides Finn Walsh on
Travel called there on Michael Shea.
Besides Finn Walsh in transition, they have no luck working inside the paint. He has 13 points on the day.
Evan Gardner starting in this half. Haven't seen a whole lot of that this season, is selling that charge. It was Niedermeyer. Called on Wilson, his second.
I think why Evan Gardner's in here is the only, like, both teams are lacking centers, right? So him coming into the game limits the amount of ways that the Vikings can score.
Good rebound there by Gardner after the missed layup by Heath. Out to Gardner, now Nigo. Nigo guarded by Davis. A couple sloppy passes though from LT in the early stages of the second half. Only a 13-point ball game.
You look at Turner. Turner's showing that he's open down low, and they're not looking at him very much.
He's on Gardner right here.
Did I say Turner?
Turner.
Wait, yeah, Gardner. I apologize.
This
Gardner.
defense now, not to interrupt, but this defense for St. Laurence.
Gardner comes out.
Is working, and there goes Gardner.
I mean, he could be a big threat to St. Lawrence if they really wanted him to be.
Vikings Trey Davis for three. That one off the mark. Made his last, misses that one inside of Darius Wilson. Wilson, good move. He'll be fouled and head to the line and shooting two after the foul from Ben Engels.
Trey Davis, he has 11 points on the day, but he's had quite a few missed three-pointers here and there.
Yeah, Trey Davis was just red hot from beyond the arc yesterday, but a little slow here today as Wilson hits that one.
That's the thing about the three-point shooting game plan. It might work, it might not. Depends if you're hot.
Back in the game for St. Lawrence is Wofford. Basic kick out to Heath. Heath three ball, and he got it. Josh Heath for three.
And it seems like every single player on the Lions team can hit a three-pointer.
And we saw that in their game against York. Pretty good three-point shooting team. Is unable to make that one was Leonard.
Good ball movement.
That gives LT a chance. Niedermeyer now from the corner, off the mark. Rebound by Engels. Engels goes up, fouled, doesn't get the and one. And that foul will be called on Wofford, sending Engels to the line for two.
That's a smart play from Engels there. Up 15, 2 minutes, 36 seconds left. Take what you can get. Don't ask for more.
With that, it quickly goes back to a 16-point lead for the Lions. And making that one is Engels.
Engels has 7.
You know, I think Finn Walsh kind of realized that, you know, he can't really take over this game by himself. As we see the charge taken there, another one by Niedermeyer. Now, I was just about to say that, you know, I think Walsh there at in the second quarter, you know, thought that, you know, he might be able to kind of chip away at LT's lead by himself. You know, we saw a lot of drive and a lot of takes, good takes, and that's one there by Stephen Basic. But the unselfishness from Finn Walsh here as of late, and just allowing St. Lawrence to run their offense, kind of allowed them to dig back into that lead. But now down 19 with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third quarter with Nigo at the line, things get a little bit tougher. misses the first.
And the mental side of things are starting to show right now. You see the bench of LT is getting really into the game. That helps bring energy into this team.
It's his second.
You know, on other sides, the bench of St. Laurence is getting really mellow over there. They're starting to look very desperate and out of luck.
Nigo, good take, good finish. 22-point lead, largest of the day for LT. Good take by Walsh.
Great spin. 15 on the day for Walsh.
Basic. Up, Engels, great finish. 64-42.
It's kind of a weird call there, or weird play there with no call.
Kind of surprised to see that no call as Wilson misses that one.
It looked like a charge to me, Gavin.
I was surprised to see that there was nothing called there too either. Niedermeyer pulls up from the free throw line and airballs. Walsh for three, no good. A little bit too strong. Nigo, right hand finish up strong and in. (66-42) the score, just under a minute left, and that take by Wilson send him to the line. You're drawing the foul on Engels.
Township foul 25, Ben Engels, that's his third.
His third, and that will bring in Michael Shea after this opportunity by Wilson. It's the first. And we have talked about it this entire tournament. The variety of points across the board and not just focusing on one player as Wilson hits that. You can see the difference between St. Lawrence and LT. Numerous players in or close to double digits for LT, but that is not necessarily the case for St. Lawrence.
It's shown from St. Louis that it's just been led by Finn Walsh, Darius Wilson, and Trey Davis, particularly Finn Walsh. You know, he's been the one scoring in transition, outrunning with speed in transition against LT defense. But it's way different coming from LT. For Nigo, who is 20.
Wilson jumper short. Here comes Nigo. Now you would think LT might try and hold for the final shot of the quarter. Showcase an offense that is very similar to the Dukes. Great pass there. Shea finishes the basket. Now saying the shot doesn't count. Davis is down on the ground.
And I believe this might be one of the first injuries we've seen all tournament. I mean,
appears to be grabbing at his knee, and that's a sight that you just don't like to see.
And you hope he's all right.
Now, you know what? In a game where so much has not gone in favor of the Vikings, one of your best three-point shooters going down is not what you want.
It's a hard sight to see.
And almost was unable to make it back to the bench is Trey Davis. That play was weird.
Right.
I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't know.
They didn't give him the bug. I think it was on the ground.
Right. So the foul was called on St. Lawrence.
The foul was called on Davis. Shea trying to go up and grab that one, can't do it. So the foul was called on Davis, but unable to capitalize on the opportunity is the Lions, and back the other way we go to the end of the quarter. Wilson, close but nothing. So, Dane, what do you take away from the third quarter for both teams? What do you like, what do you not like?
I mean, I don't know. I see, we talked about this all day long. The third quarter seems to be the most important quarter. It's whether you take advantage after halftime or not. Whoever leads after the third quarter seems to be the ones that come away in the end, because there's just not enough time to come back in the fourth with no shot clock.
Agreed. And you know, it's kind of odd how the whole thing has worked out, because it almost seems like you said, the team that has more energy and the more fire in the third quarter really controls the rest of the game and maintains control throughout the rest of the game, holds the tempo, all of that. And when I think you know, LT has come on, done a great job of shutting down a very, very good St. Lawrence team, and something that's impressed, I think, everyone in the gym, because they have just absolutely shut down the transition offense that, you know, St. Lawrence usually uses, and we saw that yesterday in their battle against St. Francis. And the inbound now with Jalen Hamilton.
But things I do like to see are that I have seen are, even though St. Lawrence is being beat 66-44, they're still playing with a very good offense. 44 points in 3 quarters is not bad. It's just a ball movement and working in transition from Lyons that's really gotten them this lead.
And you know what they needed? They needed more plays like that from Wilson.
Right.
And it's something that they couldn't do.
So now they're going to run the press, which
basic to Shea.
is risky on plays like this.
That one out of bounds on Leonard.
Man, I'm getting cold in here.
Ball sticks with LT. And Dane, I think this gym is definitely starting to get more crowded as the night goes on. As we've mentioned, tonight, the Batavia Bulldogs and the Rolling Meadows Mustangs after us. And then following that, it'll be the host of the Jack Tosh, the York Dukes, and the St. Ignatius Wolfpack. And that's one, Dane, you and I will be on that York one. And Bobby Hessling, I believe, was Bobby Hessling and Ryan on the Rolling Meadows game?
I believe so.
Bobby Hessling and Ryan Piquel will bring you the Rolling Meadows Batavia game. And the winners of those 2 games are set to square off tomorrow night. Shea misses that one. And Walsh. Back comes LT, but Dane, that's something that, you know, as a fan, you like to see an offense that, you know, is really about the team. Is
it was a great
shot
pass
no good
there
by Niedermeyer, but yeah, great pass from Nigo. We love to see offense that's centered around the team. St. Lawrence, you didn't see a whole lot of that yesterday, and you certainly did not see a whole lot of it today. Nigo jumper off the mark.
I just think that Lyons is playing with a lot higher energy than St. Lawrence. I mean, you could see in their bench, their fans, just the way they're playing on the floor. And it almost seems like the Lyons Township has a lot more depth as well in their team.
Agree, as Leonard gets that bucket there.
Like if you were to look on the scoreboard, every single player that has played here tonight for Lyons Township has made a factoring contribution to this lead.
Agree, there just hasn't been a whole lot of points from anyone else but Finn Walsh and Wilson, who takes the 3 there, and off the mark, rebound by Nigo. We wound down to about 5.5 to go in this ball game. Zvasic drives, with the left and switching the right, unable to hit. Here comes St. Lawrence back the other way. Walsh set. One will be off the hands of Josh Heath. Coming back into the ball game is John Wall for Stefan Vasic. Three ball here from Hamilton is good.
He's got a weird shot the way the ball spins off his hands. It's like sideways. But it's been working.
You know, and this is just because we saw a lot of them. Nigo reminds me a little bit of Kosic in the way he moves, and the way he manages the floor. He's not too flashy. And just a very similar play style to Nick. Is that, would you say that's a fair statement?
I think that's a very fair statement. The way Nick coaches last year was able to work around, shoot the ball, but also work inside. I can totally agree with that.
Good sight to see is Trey Davis back in the ball game. Foul on the ground, called on Nigo. Davis back in the ball game, as we said, is a relieving sight to see. Out one by Wilson, no good. And LT back the other way. Ball movement here from the Lions. Nigo out to Ingles. Ingles to Heath. Heath kick out Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer, right hand drive, no good, but a foul call. Now as we get closer and closer to seeing Max Christie take the floor, we see more and more faces fill the stands.
Yes, we do.
Look behind us, and as this ball game has gone on, it's gotten more and more crowded. Both sides of the bleachers. This is Niedermeyer on for two. It's the first.
And I think that as this game comes down to the wire, we got 4 minutes, 11 seconds left. You could almost start to hear it again. Talk about Max Christie coming into play.
It is. It's the Christie effect.
Right. It is.
And, you know, you start to see more and more people, and especially those as we said with big-time schools across their chests, is Trey Davis short on the three. But what's a beautiful thing about it is that it gives, you know, other players a chance to kind of show their stuff. And that Batavia team, don't let them fool you, because they have some great players as well. And you were a fan of Jaden Johnson last night.
Yes, I was.
As Nigo gets that one, Jaden Johnson and Devin Chaney.
I mean,
two very, very powerful players for the Bulldogs.
I'm a fan of big centers that can get physical like that down low. For me, being a small guy that's never been able to do that, I like how players like that can work inside, take advantage of open looks underneath, and just come away with the game.
And I think we saw that today. I think it was in the St. Francis game. St. Francis game against Sandburg.
Schaumburg. Wait.
No, it was no
St. Francis.
Yeah, it was
Sandburg.
Nosek.
Yeah, it was Nosek. Oh, Nosek. Yes, he played a great game.
That was if you weren't with us for that game, that was Dane's guy in that ball game.
And Danny.
We've been here for
Blank.
a long.
Danny Blank.
Danny Blank.
Danny Blank. We've kind of
been here for a long time.
We've had lots of games, lots of teams, you know.
And Finn Walsh misses that one. 73-51.
No,
the score.
I was gonna say like Chris Hodges. He
Hodges
plays so well.
A fun one to watch.
Underneath.
As Heath gets that ball. But a really fun one to watch was Chris Hodges and the Schaumburg Saxons. Moving on to tomorrow.
And he represents your school, Wisconsin. Isn't that right?
Potential Wisconsin commit. I believe that's his number one choice as it stands.
Right.
And based on the way he played today, if I'm Greg Gard and the Wisconsin Badgers and Hodges says he wants to come play for my program, I'll take him every day on the week, twice on Sunday. Very impressive showing from the Saxons today, especially Reese Patterson. I think that's a team you got to watch out for. And now we've only seen half of the action. The South Gym had a whole bunch of other action today. Nego, jumper on the way, is short. Out to Niedermeyer. Timeout called by LT.
And it looks like we see a couple bench players coming in.
I think we got a few unfamiliar faces coming in for the Lions, but nonetheless, a great job by these starters: Niedermeyer, Wall, Heath, Nego.
23-19.
There's one player on the court for the Lions right now with points, and that's Evan Gardner, the individual with the ball right now. He'll go up, can't finish. That right-hand finish, no good. And back the other way come the Vikings. This is Eddie Clark, guarded by Ridge.
And you have to fix the scoreboard for the new players in for St. Laurence here too, but all new players across the board we haven't seen.
Great hands there. And a good finish. Up and in goes Christian DeSimone. Now we saw him a little bit last night
Yeah, I think we did.
in the victory over Sandburg.
Another one. Ooh, that's a tough ball.
Going down and hitting the deck hard was Will Vedic. And the price St. Lawrence will pay for that, sending Vedic to the line. So 1:50 to go. I believe as it stands, we are about, I'd say probably 40 minutes will be the time of that Batavia Rolling Meadows game, 40 minutes from now.
Oh, there's a lot of time in between.
Yeah, you got a little bit of time before we start that one. So as I said before, it goes Batavia, Rolling Meadows, and then York and Ignatius. Great hands by Alex Ridge.
On spot number 2, Alex Ridge, that's his first.
Minute 37 left. 79-51.
Check this gift out I just received.
Christmas isn't over. Is it Chick-fil-A?
Oh yes, sir, it's Chick-fil-A. Here, you want some?
Yeah, we'll get after a few. We'll get after a few fries here.
You know, might as well have as much fun as possible as this game comes to the wire, as it's a complete blowout from Lyons. But although it was a complete blowout, stop. St. Lawrence had a great offense throughout the night. 51 points is hard to do, especially against this defense who doesn't allow many points.
The Chick-fil-A has gotten the best of us. I think that's what you can say.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my little brother's friend just brought to me. Apparently it's from my twin brother, Eric. Shout out Eric for the Chick-fil-A.
Can never go wrong. So this tournament is set to end on the 31st. Just like Chick-fil-A, we will take the day off on the 29th.
Yes, we take Sundays off. Oh my god.
As we wound down the final minute of this ball game, Georgellos will be going to the line, shooting two. Just over 40 seconds left in the ballgame. Georgelis hits the first.
I'm so confused from the scoreboard right now. Oh, there they go. They fix it.
30 seconds remaining in the ballgame. And the Vikings a less than desirable performance, 81.
You see Emmett Spolar out there. Gavin, you wish you had his hair, didn't you?
There are times where you know I do regret, you know, cutting the flow. With 3 seconds.
I still got my flow.
We'll finish this one. It was a pleasure bringing you
and my
along.
Chick-fil-A.
Next up, Batavia and Rolling Meadows. Jaden Johnson, Devin Cheney, and the Bulldogs will face off against Max and Cam Christie for a battle between the heavyweights. Bobby Hessling and Ryan Piquel will bring you that one.
Wait. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
And we'll see you for York and St. Ignatius. Goodbye, everybody.
It was fun today, Gavin, wasn't
you know
it?
What? It was a fun one.
Especially toward the end here, you know, it became a blowout, but we had fun with it, right?
It was, and folks, we do know we're still live. It was a fun one. It was a fun one, and if both these teams, these next two games coming up, if both of these teams win, as in York and Rolling Meadows, those teams will be set to play each other tomorrow. We'll be on call for that one. We can't wait to take you along for the rest of the tournament. This is the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic on YSN. So long, everybody.